Hey, Robert here. So a question that I still get asked so often is if you, as a 3D artist, should specialize or generalize. And I've actually talked about it often in the past, but I still think it's good to make a new video on it and explain a little bit why. So back in the day, in the game world as a 3D artist, being a more generalist was kind of needed because the game industry was smaller, companies were smaller, and building games was more of a team effort where everybody just understood game development. Of course, you had your programmers and your artists and your designers, but there was a lot of overlap in the work. Now we are 20 years, 30 years later, and it has really become a massive industry. And as a result, and what you see in any other industry that becomes big, roles become very specialized. So for us as artists, you are all in doing art. And then these days, it is really you are all in on characters or all in on environments. And in smaller studios, there is still a lot of overlap, but still art is very boxed in, as in you are the artist, and then a programmer is also really boxed in. Whereas with bigger studios, that boxing in is like times 10. So you really will be the weapon artist or the vehicle artist or like the fur artist or the material artist. In other words, specializing these days is really needed. And when we do say, should you specialize or generalize, we are really talking about, even if you are going more like a generalist, you are still very much focused on the 3D part, the modeling part. So yeah, you need to specialize all in on art. And that said, I do still think, and the common advice out there is to even niche down in the characters or the environments or the weapons or the vehicles or special effects. So yes, niche down, but I do believe and am of the opinion that you should not forget to learn everything around it. So your portfolio needs to show specialism. But if you understand game development from a broader standpoint, then you understand when, let's say, you're the character artist, when you make the characters, you understand what will happen to the work you do after you're done with it. And that knowledge, that understanding is a massive bonus within teams. And it does really make you a valuable team player in studios. So yes, specialize, but don't forget to understand the scope around it and game development. Which for us as artists means learn game engines. If you're the character artist, learn to make it playable. At least once or twice you should have touched it, so you understand rigging, you understand player controllers, you understand what goes into making it a functional playable character. But again, the portfolio needs to show you're the best character artist out there. Where you can also specialize into a style. So maybe you're the hand-painted character artist. I mean, at that point, if you see somebody who does that, you just know they are the best at that, right? Now imagine you're hiring people and you're building a project. Wouldn't you want the best for your project and needs? And that's why specialization is good, because then people will look for that character artist who is all in on hand-painted characters. In other words, when it comes to business in general, in our massive global world, specialists are just what is needed, because in those big projects, people want and need the best that is out there. And that's why you want to specialize. So for you, figure out from what you're good at and your passion in what direction you want to go. For example, I really like environments and hard surface. And that's something I like because I enjoy doing it. And then go in that direction, get really good at it, skip everything else, learn to do it. Like I said, don't make it a void. Like, I also know how to do characters, but I'm really good at environment and hard surface. And then I, over time, also learned I really enjoy stylized more. And that's why also on the Meshmasters portfolio, you see mostly stylized. To me, it's just cool. I like it. It's more free. It's more from the soul. So, and then that really becomes my speciality. So I recommend you do the same. And if you don't know that yet, just keep exploring a little bit. And over time, you will find what fits you best. And then the end result should be a portfolio that really shows that specialization. And it might sound a bit weird, but your portfolio and who you are, you can kind of see it like a product. You are the best product in hand-painted characters, and that's what people need. Hope that makes sense and helps. As I have often said already, we've been really expanding Meshmasters with a coaching and training component or pillar, really focused on all these topics like the freelancing, or should you specialize or not, or what I often call the business of art. So how do you do the networking? How do you find clients? How do you prepare yourself for studio work? And of course, we are also touching a lot on the art itself. But these topics throughout my career in the industry has always been a sort of pain point or a void within the art world. And since I've been running Meshmasters and the studio and business and marketing and sales, I've just learned so much of it. And that's what I want to give back to the industry and you. So if you're interested, make sure you find me on LinkedIn and reach out if you have any questions. We also recently launched our Discord community server. So if you want even directer contact with me or the team, go find that. And we are running boot camps where we do small classes of max 6 people, sometimes even one-on-one, where we really, where I coach and give a 2-week, pretty much a knowledge download of all these topics to really boost your 3D art career, your brand, your portfolio, your understanding, your mindset, to really skyrocket your 3D skills and career. So if you're interested, make sure you go find our website, go reach out to me, and I will catch you on the next one.